Welcome back everybody to the channel. I spent my entire week behind the wheel of this 2024 Range Rover Sport P550e Autobiography. And the best part is this is a plug-in hybrid electric Range Rover. Now the Autobiography trim is one of the top trims available for the Range Rover Sport this year. Other than that, you can go all the way up to the SV, but I don't think you really need to because this is plenty fast, and also it's fully luxurious. Any luxurious item you can think of, this Range Rover Sport has got it, and I'm gonna take you through all of it. I'm gonna show you the exterior, then the interior, and of course, the POV drive. Let's get right into it. As usual, we start off with the front end for this Range Rover Sport. You can see we got really nice daytime running LEDs. They haven't changed a whole lot about the Range Rover in years here, but still, it's got a really good look to it. I like it in this classic gray. It just, screams Range Rover to me, actually. We've got like these kind of bronze accents all the way around. Of course, we have 360-degree camera, parking sensors, everything like that. You can see I'm also in the normal ride height, but you can configure it so that the car can drop lower when you want to get in. Then I also have the Range Rover badge here that goes right across, looks really nice. The Land Rover badge right here. And then again, we've got these little like piano black kind of little details that kind of split up the big slab of gray that is the hood, which I do enjoy. Next, let's take a look under the hood. I have a 3-liter inline 6 with a 31.8 kilowatt usable plug-in hybrid electric battery. Both of those things combined are giving me 543 horsepower, 590 pound-feet of torque, which is a fast Range Rover Sport. Now the electric battery is good for around 85 to 90 kilometers of full EV range. And if you're doing a lot of city driving like I have this week, that's really useful. I've really not touched my gas tank very much. So naturally, Range Rovers are expensive, and the Range Rover Sport Autobiography is no joke. The base price for this thing is 141,550 Canadian. My as tested price is 162,385 dollars Canadian. It's expensive. That's a lot of money for a SUV, but you kind of get what you pay for. There's nothing cheap here. All right, next up we move to the side profile for our Range Rover Sport here. You can see, like I said, that's what the normal ride height looks like. There is a little bit higher in the off-road mode. It's got weight sensing. I actually drove through a flood with it here in Montreal this week, so there's that. I've got the Aero wheels. That's probably the cheapest thing you're going to see here on my version of the Range Rover Sport that I've been testing. So that's that's it. And then we have more of these kind of piano black and bronze accents that kind of split things up. A nice blacked out mirror, camera right there, turn signal LEDs look perfect. We've got power folding mirrors. We've also got electronic door handles that will come in and go out as you drive the car. Also, this is an actual button, so that's good news. Hopefully that should be fine in the winter. Moving on a little bit more to the back, you can see it's a decent tint, right? It looks like a 3-row. When I back up, it looks like you could possibly fit a 3rd row in the back there, but it's actually all just trunk space, and I'm here for it. I absolutely love that. And then if we pop it open right here, you'll see this is where we're going to charge our Range Rover Sport, and it can also DC fast charge, so that's very useful as well. Last but not least, we move to the back of the Range Rover Sport, where you can see we have really nice taillights, classic taillights. It's got like a circular rear end, and also we have 2 visible exhausts. This thing is able to tow, which is very nice. We also have a backup camera, which is standard, parking sensors, the works. I like this big Range Rover badge right here. And then you have a Sport, very simple. Also, the wiper is tucked up underneath, and there is a camera because we do have a digital rear view mirror. Last but not least, let's open this up. Automatic tailgate, so we like that. Of course, for the price point, you're gonna need it. And then you just have space for days. You can also adjust the air suspension with these 2 buttons, and you can fold the 2nd row down with the buttons as well here. And if you're getting groceries, you can pop this guy up, and you can kind of have stuff here so it's not rolling around the entire trunk. You have like a stopper, so you put stuff there, stuff here, and it will stay in place, which is really, really useful. We also have this privacy screen that can come out should you need it. So there you go. That's going to do it for the exterior tour of the Range Rover Sport. Let's hop into this thing, and then I'm going to take it on a POV drive right after that. Let's do it. All right, as usual, up first is the rear for the Range Rover Sport. Here we go. Look at this. You're not going to find anything but high quality materials in here. You can see we've got this high quality, nice burgundy color kind of leather. We've also got this really high quality kind of finishing trim here, as well as all this. This is all very expensive, of course, but Very nice. Taking a look at the seats, these headrests actually conform to, you know, your head. You can kind of push it just like kind of like an airplane seat. It reminds me a little bit. I do have the package that gives us 2 screens, and I'll show you how they work. So let's hop in here. Very easy to get in. I have it at normal ride height, but you can configure it to actually lower, so it's even easier. There I am in the screen. You can see it tells me what time it is, and I've got soft closing doors. Check this out. So I should be able to just close it, and there we go. It just closed by itself. That's very nice. So the screen, you can't really do too much with it unless the person in front of you or the driver sets a navigation point. Then you'll be able to see it back here on the screen. And then anything else you want to do, unfortunately, you have to plug in an HDMI cable, which is interesting because I feel like we have Wi-Fi built into the vehicle. I feel like Range Rover could just put in some built-in apps, like at least like a Netflix, a YouTube, and stuff like that, and then just use the built-in Wi-Fi and go off of that instead of having to plug in our own thing. But that's where we are. So let me show you how you do that. So this guy kind of comes down like I always show you, and then you kind of click this button, which is going to open this little storage compartment that also has, I don't know if you can see it very well, it has 2 HDMI and USB-C ports. That's where you're going to plug in your stuff, and then either screen can have either one. You could probably plug in a PlayStation, a console, or something like that through here as well. And then the other function it has is, of course, the nice cup holders that slide out. So that's how you're going to use the screen on both sides. The screen does adjust, so you can kind of tilt it up and down, and that's pretty cool. It is kind of close, I find. The seats do recline as well, so you can press this button and they will recline back, which is very nice. Then we have this really cool looking climate control where you have the push-pull. So we're going to push for heated and ventilated seats back here, and then you're going to pull for the fan speed and everything like that. And then you can also just adjust your temperature normally back here by doing that. Nice little animation when you do it too. 2 vents, again, nice materials here. Very nice seats here. This is like sitting on a couch. It's just crazy. And also the oh crap handles right up here, fully leather, of course. It just looks really, really good. This interior is one of the nicest I've ever seen, and also one of the most comfortable I've ever seen. Also get a very nice view of this huge sunroof, and you can see what's going on up front should you want to. So let's actually hop up there. Next up, as usual, is the front seat for the Range Rover Sport. Bigger door this time. It's going to beep at me a little bit, but you can see all the nice materials again. Nothing cheap here. This is where the door handle is actually very nice and chromed out. You got the Autobiography because that's the trim we're driving this week. And again, the same seats that are all controlled by the door. Very nice. So that's beeping is annoying. So let's actually hop in. Then we're greeted by the same colored steering wheel as the rest of the dash here. I really like companies that do that. And of course, Range Rover has done it. And we've also got this nice black trim around. So let's start with taking a look at the steering wheel. We have some controls here. If you know Range Rover at all, then you know kind of what happens here. This is your phone control. These like kind of squares here are going to be how you control the digital gauge cluster right there. Then we have, of course, lane keep assist, heated steering wheel. We also have adaptive cruise control, all the stuff on here, no problem. Metallic paddle shifters. This car is quite fast, so using that is good. Like I said in the beginning of the video, this is a hybrid vehicle, so right now, since I'm sitting in a parking lot, I'm in fully electric mode, and you can see the charge of the battery right there, as well as the charge of the gas tank right there, which is full because I haven't been using it very much. So you have some different options for your infotainment. You can do display layout. I'll kind of show you one of them quickly, otherwise we might be here all day. Let's go into display layout, and then you could go to map if you want, and then it kind of brings up whole map. Say you're on a road trip and you just want the navigation right up in front of you, you can have that, but I prefer just the 2 dials, the classic, the classic dials. But you can also customize what's on the left, what's on the right, what's in the middle. You can customize all of that. I've got a Meridian signature sound system, which with the active noise cancellation in this vehicle sounds super good. Then we move over to our infotainment display. This is where a lot of the vehicle is going to be controlled. So like, you're going to get your cameras from here. You're going to change your drive modes, your climate. It's all here. There's really no physical buttons other than the ones that you find on the steering wheel. And I like to call this infotainment simply complicated because there's a lot of stuff going on. So we're just going to go over the highlights. Of course, I've got wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. I've got seats, which this is really cool, where I could adjust everything. Like I could adjust the headrest of the passenger. Check this out. So it's actually a button. If I hold this button up, check this out. The headrest is moving up all by itself. And then I can pull it back down. And it does that for all the ways for the driver and the passenger seat, which is very cool. We've got massage features here, a whole bunch of different massage features that you can go through. And that's where you're going to turn on your ventilation and heat, stuff like that's there. Vehicle dimensions, you got an EV button. air quality, which is really cool. You can change your ride height, one of the fastest changing ride heights I've ever seen. You can have towing trailers, parking assists. You can control your vents from here as well, your vehicle health. Literally everything is controlled into here, and it's very, very complicated. The dynamic mode too, you can change what that does, which is very nice. And then I also have like a slider for my mode button and different things like that. I don't want to spend too long on this thing. It's crazy detailed, a lot of stuff going on. You can change so many things from in here, but I don't want to spend our entire video here. So let's continue on. I have a wireless charger right here, a little bit of storage too if you don't want to use it, like a little bit of chrome here, and this is kind of the biggest piece of piano black you're gonna find on the vehicle here. I got a start stop button. That's really it. Like, this is the high touch area. This is the area that's going to be hard to keep clean if you have kids and stuff, but since, you know, I'm pretty much in the car by myself a lot of the time, I don't really worry about that. And then I have this nice touching kind of gear selector here, very simple to operate. Then I also have a little storage compartment here where I can kind of take my wallet out of there. Then you've got pretty deep wells there where you can have USB-C and USB-A. Cup holders hold things very nicely. Then I've also got the package that comes with the fridge, so you can keep, you know, baby bottles or whatever you need in there. It's not a very big space for storage, but it can definitely hold 1 or 2 drinks or a water bottle or 2, so that's fantastic. I've got some storage up here too, nice and velvet carpet right there, and then got a standard glove box that's like a smooth opening. Everything is smooth, everything is elegant here in the Range Rover Sport. Autobiography package kind of does that, and yeah, I am just comfortable. It feels like I'm sitting on a couch. And look at this too. I've also got some armrests here that can kind of adjust, so even the driver and the passenger both get armrests. These seats are some of the most comfortable seats I've ever had, but I'll talk about that when I take it for a drive. So speaking of that, let me strap that GoPro to my forehead. Let's get on the road. All right, on the road, got the GoPro strapped to my forehead, and I'm in the wonderful Range Rover Sport Autobiography. Autobiography is one heck of a word that I would definitely use to describe this thing, because I am just comfortable. You can write my autobiography in here if you want to. It is just, it's like flying. It's such a weird thing to describe until you feel like the ride quality of one of these things. Like, I don't feel any of the bumps, potholes, or craters that is known as the Quebec roads. Nothing. None of it. It's like I'm floating above the roadway a lot of the time. Couple this with the fact that this is a plug-in hybrid vehicle, you've got yourself one hell of a deal here. The fact that I can just plug it in whenever I need to is a huge deal to me. And like, obviously I've been using this car quite a bit, so I don't have any battery right now, and I had a power outage last night, so currently no power to charge the car at home, have to go somewhere else. But still, I've been rolling on full electric vehicle pretty much my entire week here, so it's been really fun. Let's switch over into some dynamic modes here. Let's go like this and then turn dynamic mode on. There we go. Drive mode, we'll go dynamic, and let's go. Engine kicks on, give it some revs here. Really fast. Not a huge exhaust note. You probably didn't even hear it happen, honestly, and I didn't even feel it happen. I'm just at 100. It's like teleportation. This has got like over 500 horsepower, so it makes sense that it would be that fast, but holy moly, that's quite good. That's quite quick, you know. And I mean, still, even knowing that I'm in full dynamic mode, full sport mode, I'm still comfortable. I still don't feel anything. Like, this is just like a, you know, an easy car to drive. It almost takes the driving out of your hands. It takes the feel out of your hands because you just don't need to do anything. Car's got you covered. This massive SUV has got it all, you know. Just like going over bumps here, check this out. Didn't feel it, didn't even notice. It's like I'm just hovering. It's like I'm in a little hovercraft and I'm hovering right above the road. I do have paddle shifters. You can have a manual mode. They are metal paddle shifters, which is very nice. Meridian sound system in here is pretty good. Surround sound system is nice to have. Handling is also very decent. I've got pretty much 4-wheel turn. The rears can turn a little bit, so, and you definitely notice it. Like, when I first picked up the car, I wasn't aware that Range Rover had put this in the Sport for this version, and I just turned, and I turned like how I normally would in a car without rear steering, and it just like kind of like woo, and I was like, whoa, okay, this definitely has rear steering. Like, you can feel the difference immediately, especially in parking lots. But it makes it very easy to U-turn, maneuver, do all these things. You just do everything in comfort. This is like the ultimate comfort machine. Like, I am going like highway speeds right now, but you don't even realize it. That's been the thing with this Range Rover Sport, is like, I'm going faster than I almost need to some of the times, and I don't realize it because it all feels the same. I can't tell when I'm accelerating hard or when I'm braking hard, because it all just kind of happens. The car just kind of takes care of everything, and you're just kind of, I'm driving, but yet I still feel like a passenger, if that makes sense. Like, you know, I have full control of the vehicle, obviously, nice Ferrari, but you could still, like, you basically feel like I'm being driven around, and like I'm doing everything, but I feel like it's doing everything for me. And also, you gotta love this interior, right? Like, just looking at it, just to drive with it, it's a really classy looking interior. It's really top of the line stuff. There isn't a cheap piece of material in here, and the driving definitely doesn't feel like it. And actually, yesterday, I was out on the road, these roads, which were flooded, believe it or not. We got so much rain yesterday. I know it doesn't look like it at all, but we got so much rain. I had to engage the off-road mode, and I was using the weight sensing mode in the streets because it was just insane. I wish I could have filmed it, but I was actually more concerned about getting my wife and my kid home than content. But holy moly. This thing can go through rivers, and that kind of gave me a lot of confidence, right? Like, I knew I had the all-wheel drive, I knew I had everything, but still, I liked how high I was able to get off the ground using the off-road mode. And like, the air suspension in here is probably part of the reason why you don't feel any bumps ever for any reason. You know, and that's one of the good things, but it's so quick. It jumps up into off-road mode so quick, and then jumps back down into access mode even quicker, right? Like, and I just love the fact that, like, I can be sporty, and then I can also tell it to save some fuel if I need to. I could have it in hybrid mode, or I could have it in full EV mode all the time. Obviously, EV mode's a little slower than you'd like it, but still, it's still there. You still have some decent range on you. But yeah, I really did like just driving in EV mode a lot of the time. Comfort mode with my baby in the back seat, you know, no problem getting around in electric mode. And like, I've had the car all week, and I'm still near full. I still have over 400 kilometers of range, and I've done 6.5 liters per 100 kilometers. That's pretty decent. That's probably not as low as it could have been had I been able to charge the battery a bit more often here, but still, that is very decent. So look, I'm going to turn a little bit sharply here, and you'll see what I'm talking about by the steering. So like, I can turn like this, like I normally would, but I'm already turning way more than I need to, because I'm definitely assisted by those rear wheels, and that's really fun to have. It's a really cool feeling. It's a feeling I've never actually had in a vehicle before. So really, I mean, the Range Rover is just expensive, no doubt about it. Over-engineered, possibly, but comfortable and luxurious. And if you pay the price, I think you're getting every penny's worth, because there's so much in here that's like easy to use. It's a plug-in hybrid, so the amount of times you're going to visit the gas station, if you can keep this 80-kilometer battery charge most of the time, for me, my daily commutes, obviously when I have power at my house, is very easy. Like, boom, I just plug it in when I get home. I've got a bit of battery, and I'm able to just use that battery to go get groceries and do everything else I need to do in between without having to worry about a single thing, you know, gas wise. So I really wouldn't be visiting the gas station that much. And I think that's a huge selling point for the plug-in hybrid Range Rover. It's honestly the one that I would go with. Hybrids make everything better. I don't think the world is ready for full EVs in every car, but definitely a hybrid system in every car. I think the world is ready for that. So yeah, with that being said, if you want to buy a Range Rover, you have the cash to splash around, you will not be disappointed, and you will be in absolute comfort the entire time. And it's just wonderful interior, a great place to spend time, really comfortable. The air suspension makes you feel like you're just floating on the road. I really don't have anything to complain about. It's expensive, but you do kind of get what you pay for in terms of the Range Rover. Can't speak to reliability. I'll need one of you wonderful watchers to let us know. If you own the Range Rover Sport, let us know what you think about it. You think it's worth this money, and do you think it's worth it with all the maintenance costs and everything else in between? If there's any issues, tell us about them in the comments. With that being said, unfortunately, I'm going to leave the video here with the Range Rover, and we're going to drive it around a little bit more on my own off camera. But with that being said, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you leave a like. I've got a packed August. If you think the Bronco was any good, you think the Range Rover Sport was any good, stay tuned to what I got coming next in August. You're going to love it. I am very excited to show you. Make sure you turn on the bell notification so you never miss a new video. See you in the next car. Take care.